few years ago now, this village almost sank straight into the earth. The situation was so serious that emergency work had to be carried out to prevent the Victorian railway tunnel hidden beneath these homes from collapsing. Although many people actually think this emergency was just a tactic, one part of a plan to abandon this historic 1.4-mile tunnel, rather than repair and reopen it, reconnecting the local communities that it once served. So what's really been going on here? What's the truth? And will the local campaigners be able to save it before it's lost to history for good? Let's go and find out. Now today we're in West Yorkshire, heading towards a place known as Queensbury Tunnel. Queensbury Tunnel is an old railway tunnel, completed in 1878, 1.4 miles long, 2.2 kilometres, and it runs 400 feet below the village of Queensbury. Just realised I'm on the wrong side of this path. That's not a great start to the video. One quick adjustment and then we'll carry on. Okay, sorry about that. Now, when it was completed, Queensbury Tunnel did a great job of serving the community, connecting the local areas. It ran passenger trains and freight trains. But over the years, the needs for it faded away. We had increasing availability of other transport systems, trams and buses, and the maintenance of the tunnel was very expensive. And so in 1956, it became disused, it was closed down. Now obviously that was a fair few years ago now, 1956, so why are we still talking about it in 2026? Well, Queensbury Tunnel has had a slightly dramatic recent history. There's been a battle going on between the owners and the campaigners. Both want different things, and at this moment in time, we're at a bit of a critical point. So let me tell you a bit about what's been going on. Now, Queensbury Tunnel is owned by the UK government's Department for Transport, and it's managed by a separate government-owned company called National Highways. The National Highways have a whole team dedicated to managing and maintaining thousands of old pieces and parts of the British railways. Think tunnels, bridges and viaducts as well. And their job is to monitor, maintain, repair and repurpose all these pieces of infrastructure from Britain's old railways. And in a great many cases, they do a fantastic job. But in recent years, they've lost a lot of trust with a lot of people. And there are many out there who are now seriously questioning the motivation behind some of their decisions. And when it comes to Queensbury Tunnel, what they want to do is abandon it permanently. They want to spend a further £7.5 million. I say further because a lot of money's already been spent here. That's what they want to spend from today though, to carry out work that would make it safe, prevent it from collapsing and impacting the land above it, and then leave it abandoned. There's a whole other side to this though, and a possible separate future for Queensbury Tunnel. And that's where the Queensbury Tunnel Society come into the picture. They've been campaigning for several years now with a different vision for the tunnel. And what they want to do is repair it, reopen it and set it up as a greenway, a cycle path, a walking route, connecting the communities once again. Not only that, but they believe this plan would cost less money. And they've forecasted that for every £1 spent, over £3 will be returned in the form of community, touristic and travel benefits. So on the surface, it looks kind of straightforward, right? Pay less, get more for the community. So there must be something else at play here. I'm winging this route a little bit, I'll be totally honest with you. Quite a nice view though. This is actually day 2, attempt number 2 to film this video, because yesterday I got halfway here and there was just way too much snow. So what could this missing information be, the missing piece? Well, there's one thing in particular that's led to this lack of trust that many now have with National Highways. And it's something most commonly referred to simply as Class Q. Now, Class Q refers to a piece of legislation, it's muddy, a piece of legislation that allows them to carry out emergency work which can bypass all the regular planning phases. On paper, it makes perfect sense. You may have a bridge about to collapse and something needs to be done before people get injured. But there's been a lot of accusations in the recent years flying in the direction of national highways. People who believe that they've abused Class Q, taken advantage of it. And there are unfortunately a fair few instances where things don't look too great. The most high profile one was at a place called Musgrave Bridge over in the county of Cumbria. Class Q was used over at Musgrave Bridge to carry out some emergency work. There were concerns that this bridge might collapse. And so they piled on, they infilled the bridge with over 1,000 tons of concrete. And there was a bit of a backlash, to say the least. A great many number of complaints. Going by the records, the council had not been communicated with about this. And later down the line, National Highways were instructed to remove all of this concrete after a retroactive planning application was rejected. That's a lot of cows. So they spent over £100,000 initially filling in all this concrete, and they spent over £300,000 subsequently removing it. And the most bizarre part of all of this is that after all this had happened, the local council declared that the bridge was safe for traffic. It didn't need any further weight restrictions, no further repairs, and it was reopened. Oh, they've got a calf as well. Do I need a plan B? Or are you going to be chill? I guess we can find out. And worst case, I'll just run as fast as possible. That one's got a nose ring. Where were we? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Musgrave Bridge. So the whole incident, quite peculiar. Whether it was an intentional misuse of Class Q, just an oversight, poor communication, this combined with a number of other, let's call them incidents, led to a lot of people becoming quite sceptical and cynical of the intentions of National Highways. Now, coming back to Queensbury Tunnel, Class Q was used here as well. Parts of the tunnel have collapsed previously, and Class Q was used to do further work, emergency work, to prevent more problems. But unfortunately, this emergency work wasn't without its drama either. The local council in this area, Bradford Council, even submitted later on a planning contravention notice, suggesting that proper process had not been followed here. And fast forward, here we are in 2026, trying to find out what's going to happen next. We've got two possible directions that Queensbury Tunnel can now go in. Not literally, of course, but you know what I mean. And to be honest with you, although I don't live so far from here, and I had heard about the tunnel before, up until recently, I had no idea just what had been going on. And so because I'm somewhat new to the story and the details, I thought it'd be good if we maybe spoke to somebody who knows it a little bit better than I do. And we're very soon about to arrive at the tunnel, so let's go and see who's there.
Well, I live overlooking the Great Northern Railway Trail, and way back I used to be part of a forum that was part of the development of the Great Northern Railway Trail, which is an old railway route connecting Halifax to Bradford and over to Keighley as well. So then I heard about this tunnel sitting underneath Queensbury, and at that stage, this is about 12 years ago, we heard that National Highways, which was Highways England at that time, were planning to abandon it. And abandonment basically means destroying. So we began to realise how key the tunnel is to connecting North Halifax to Bradford as part of a greenway. And we worked with officers from Bradford Council to develop a scheme which would create a greenway with the tunnel right at the apex of it, really. over to Homefield, which is North Halifax, joining up with the Great Northern Railway Trail, and then eventually, in years to come, continuing the Great Northern Railway Trail over towards Keighley, which would be a fantastic greenway for cyclists and walkers and horse riders. Yeah.
And it's been quite a long road, like you said.
It
There's been a lot of things happening.
It's been such a battle, yeah. National Highways are simply not interested, as far as we can tell, in supporting projects which benefit active travel. They do roads and they do other things, fine, but they're the wrong people really to have custodianship of railway heritage, which is what Queensbury Tunnel is. So all over the country there are other tunnels and bridges and viaducts which they've got responsibility for, and they're just trying to tick them off basically.
Oh, right.
And spend a heck of a lot of money, a lot of public money, on shelving responsibility for them. No, we've met some real opposition, and we've also met misleading information. Ministers have been misled by information that they've got from National Highways. We can say really quite clearly that there's been a lot of dishonesty in presenting the picture. The tunnel needs repair. There's no getting away from that. It's a very wet tunnel.
Yeah.
There are collapses at stages through the tunnel, but they can be sorted out. And so it doesn't need money spending on it. But it's going to probably cost more money to block it up than it would do to make it ready to turn into a
that was my
viable
understanding
prospect.
as well.
Yeah.
So everyone will be wondering, as I have been, and then why would they be so resistant to that path?
Yeah. Why? Why? we can't answer that question. It just seems nonsensical that a government that talks about spending money carefully for public benefit would chuck £7.5 million, which is what they're allocating so far, probably go up, on the prospect of blocking it up, which would make it unusable.
Yeah.
When really that money could be transferred with conditions, of course, to Bradford Council or to the West Yorkshire Combined Authority to make it not absolutely ready as a greenway, but a good way along that process.
Yeah.
And there isn't money, there isn't council money at the moment. We know that. But that's not to say that justifies the destruction of the potential.
So what's the situation at the moment? Is there still a chance that the greenway could go ahead?
We think there's a chance. We think it's down to people power. We're asking people to write to their MPs, to get their MPs to write to the minister who's made the decision and get the decision reviewed. We also want Bradford Council to stand up and say they're not going to give planning permission to National Highways when they submit their application, because it is subject to planning permission, the work that they're planning to do. We won't really want them to say no, we're not going to allow that. And we need to change the understanding of people in decision-making positions, like Tracy Brabin, Mayor of West Yorkshire. She's accepted word from the Department for Transport about issues of safety. We're contesting that. The tunnel's very secure at the moment. There's no risk to anybody. You can see the great big gate that there is at this end, and the far end is flooded to a level above the portal, so there's no access at the other end.
Okay.
So there isn't a safety issue.
So there's still time, and for anybody who's watching this and has taken an interest in what they've heard in the video, they can...
join our campaign, please. It's queensburytunnel.org.uk, and see, and we're on Facebook. Keep tabs on what we're saying, please, and write to any MP that you want. Tell them not to swallow the narrative that's been fed to them by National Highways, and to see the tunnel and other places, other structures around the country, see their potential for active travel.
Amazing.
There might not be money right now, but who's to say what money will be made available in the future?
Absolutely. Well, there we go. An interesting story to say the least, and still hope for the future of Queensbury Tunnel from the sounds of it. So if you're interested, you can see the vision, then check out the website, you can get involved, and it's not too late. I want to say thank you so much to Norah for joining me in today's video, sharing all of the information. Massive shout out to everyone who's been supporting the channel recently, watching, viewing, it's the same thing, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Thank you so much for supporting these trips. Massive shout out to all the members as well who helped to finance these videos. Thank you so much. All the recent routes from the latest videos will be available in the members section very soon. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'm interested to see where this goes, and fingers crossed, I'll see you next time.